Roddick won the Cincinnati title twice. This was the first of the two in 2003. He beat his good buddy and former housemate Marty Fish in that final, and the winning continued all the way to New York, where Andy would win the U.S. Open just a couple of weeks later. And with that rather friendly introduction, we say good evening to Andy from home in the mountains. You kind of liked Cincinnati. Why did you like that as a tune-up for the U.S. Open? It worked out for you.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out sometimes, but I like the courts you get there. They play hot, they play fast. A lot of times the Europeans came over and they didn't really like that tournament that much. So I felt like if I could just kind of show a little bit of enthusiasm, a little bit of energy, might be worth a couple of breaks, and it worked out a little bit. And
you really liked beating Marty in a final, right? I mean,
I just like beating Marty. Tennis is actually the only thing I've ever beaten him in. So it's good that I beat him in the only thing that was actually recorded.
All right, let's dig into a couple of the matches that we saw on Tennis Channel today. We're going to start with Andy Murray, who had a nice win the other day over Francis Tiafoe. Backed it up today with his first top 10 win in a long time against Zverev. I saw you on social media professing your love for Andy Murray today. You like what he was up to?
I love it. It's like he takes you into a gutter with him, rolls you around for a little bit. I never in my life thought I would see him move the way that he was moving today. The way that he competes, he doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the titles. He's here alone. He has a bunch of kids at home, and he's out here just grinding, anticipating, showing off the tennis IQ. I love seeing him kind of back in full flight, grinding through matches. He's up 4-1. He's down. Zverev hits this shot, and all of a sudden he's going to go up by 4. Murray comes back. I love the grittiness. I love the IQ. He's never once had the biggest shot on the court at a given moment, but yet he's had the career that he has. A lot of respect for Andy Murray, and I'm really glad to see him kind of coming up, hitting shots like this, running for it and pass. I just like to see it, and I want to see a lot more mixing up the game plan, as you'll see here upcoming on his first receiving match point. Kind of taking the ball early, mixing it up. You see the defense, you see the offense. It's just really fun to see him back playing tennis again and closing in a match with emphasis like he did right there.
Andy, what are your thoughts on Alexander Zverev? Had some troubles with the serve under pressure today, but he's a terrific player, top 10er now for 4 years.
Yeah, it's weird because you're judging him against the precedent that he's set, which is extremely high. So I hate that it kind of becomes critical very quick with him a lot of the time. With the serve, he kind of comes straight on with it, which means he's hitting it to the back half of the box or the back quarter of the box consistently. When that goes off a little bit and you're not creating a margin with a big shoulder turn and being able to actually get the ball up and down and create that arc, it leads to a little bit of yippiness on the serve sometimes. So you hate to see it. You can kind of feel it coming. It feels like he either has it under control or it goes in bunches. And today it went in bunches in the wrong time.
With regard to Murray, Jim said during the match that he thought from a movement standpoint that Andy's at about 85%, give or take, of sort of the full flight Andy Murray that we knew from years ago. I'm curious, Andy, what you think Murray is capable of in this physical version of himself if he maxes it out.
Yeah, I probably agree with Jim. It is good to see him. He is the best of all time of not quite getting there and still making a play to get it back to neutral. One thing that he's going to be extremely happy about are the court conditions. If he can kind of hit his rally ball, get it through the court, switch directions, he's not going to have to rely on the movement as much. I guarantee you when he got there, got on the practice court, saw that they were very quick, he liked his chances a lot more.
Yeah, we'll have to see when the U.S. Open starts what 3 out of 5 sets means to Andy. I mean, so many players have talked about after this extended break, should the formats have been shortened in any capacity, we'll have to see. It's going to be a huge test for Murray, and that hip, all of a sudden having to play potentially 3, 4, 5-hour match. Let's see how it holds up then.
All right, so it's...
Yeah.
Go ahead, Andy.
Sorry, excuse me, Brett. No, I was just going to say, I think Lindsay's, I think she's spot on. I mean, the hip we don't know about, but Murray will be prepared when he has time to get himself in match shape. He will be prepared for that moment. It's just a matter. We don't know what the hip's going to give him.